Hi, I'm Sophie from Sophie's World. You know, Hanukkah can be a tricky time for coming up with really fun, inexpensive crafts, but I've got one I think you're going to love. I'm going to take these stir sticks and turn them into something really special. Let me show you what I mean. So for this project, we're going to be using stir sticks. Now, stir sticks come in two different sizes. These are actually the longer size of the stir stick, and you're going to need 6 of these for every star that you make. So 6 stir sticks. I'm going to be using washi tape for this, but you can also paint your stars when they're completed if you like. I'm going to be using some scissors, and I'm going to be using a little bit of yarn. That's just going to make my hanger. And in this case, because I'm going to make mine into a window decoration, I'm going to add some pretty beads. And to do that, I've got some pretty blue paddle beads, some clear crystal beads, some very light blue crystal beads, and some pretty silver spacer beads, which I think are really pretty. And for that, I'm going to be using a pipe cleaner. So the first thing we're going to do is cover our sticks. And in this case, I'm going to be using orange and blue because unfortunately I don't have any gold. Gold would have been pretty, or silver would have been pretty, but I didn't have any gold or silver, so I'm going to be using some orange. What you're going to do is take your washi tape and you're going to measure it out so that it is about the length of your stir stick. Slightly longer is better. So just about 1 inch longer. I'm going to now take my washi tape and place the edge of the washi tape right along the edge of this stir stick right here. And as you can see, I'm leaving a little bit on either end. A little bit on this end and a little bit on this end. Now I've lined that up and I just smooth that, and then I flip it over and I smooth this on the back. What you want to do is just completely seal your stick. And I mean seal it. And I mean seal the edges too, so that there's tape on tape here. Now what I'm going to do is just take my scissors and just snip right around the edge of my stir stick. And there you go. You've got a covered stick with washi tape. Now what I'm going to do here is I've actually done mine ahead of time just so I have them. So I have 3 in each color. I've got 3 orange, as you can see, and 3 blue. I'm going to use the oranges to make one triangle and the blues to make another triangle. For this project, I am going to be using glue from a hot glue gun. However, if you want to, you can use glue dots or Elmer's glue. You'll just want to make sure that everything is really dry before you proceed to putting the triangles together. So first thing I'm going to do is put 1 drop of glue right there on the end of one stick. I'm going to take my one stick and place it right on top of that drop of glue. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my second stick and I'm going to put a drop of glue on each end, and I'm going to pull it apart so that it makes a perfect triangle. You want to make sure that the surface that you're working on isn't going to get glue on it. So you're probably not going to want to work on a fabric surface. You want to work on a surface like our duct tape board kind of a surface, something that's plastic. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing with my blue. Again, I put a glue here, my second glue here, move that to the end, put a drop of glue here on the end, and a drop of glue here on the end. What's nice is that because the hot glue gives you a little bit of dry time, there's about 30 seconds to 45 seconds of dry time, you can actually move this around to make sure that you get a perfect triangle. Well, or as perfect as you can, I should say. It doesn't have to be perfect. But basically you're making an isosceles triangle, I believe this is called. I'll have to check that, make sure I'm right. You math whizzes out there, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, now I've got my 2 triangles. And what I'm going to do is put these 2 together. So see, I'm going to take one end of one triangle and just slide it underneath the far end of the other triangle. And if I just put it in the right place, it makes a beautiful Star of David. Now, to make sure that I glue this in the right place, what I'm going to do is hold my hand here and make sure that I like where it is. Get it lined up, and then using my hand to hold it, I pick up the edge and put a little blob of glue here and a little blob of glue here. Not much, and I just push down. Now I'm probably going to want to hold this, no probably about it, I'm going to want to hold this until it dries. So when you do that, just be careful that you don't get the glue on your fingers because it can be hot. But I'm going to hold this for about 30 seconds just to make sure that it stays. Now it's good. And now what I'm going to do is flip it around and do the same thing on the other side. Put a little blob of glue here and a little blob of glue here. And hold it in place until it dries, 30 seconds. Now you can stop right here. And the other thing that you can do is if you've decided you don't want to use washi tape, you can do this same process but do it with sticks that haven't been covered in washi tape. Just do it in plain sticks. And then if you want to, you can actually paint those sticks and they look like this. The main thing though about it when you paint the sticks is make sure that you paint the sticks after you have glued them into their shapes, because what happens with paint and hot glue is they tend to peel apart. So you want the wood to be glued together and then you want to paint it. You don't want to paint them and then glue it together. They'll just pop apart. Okay, next thing we're going to do is make this very, very pretty centerpiece here. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and I'm going to put it up here and I'm just going to give it a little twist like that. And that's going to stay right there in the center. And now I'm going to take some pretty beads here. In this case, I'm going to use a blue bead, blue crystal bead. And these are just plastic beads. They're nothing fancy, nothing special. And then I'm going to take a spacer bead, a silver spacer. I've got a lot of extra here, so I'm just going to cut this right here because I don't need that much. And then I'm going to slide my spacer on. Okay, maybe I'm not going to slide my spacer on. Hang on one second. Let me just get it in a better position for my hands here. Sometimes you get tight spacers. Sometimes beads do that. There we go. That one didn't have a very big hole. Sometimes they do that. Now I'm going to use a pretty crystal clear one. And then I'm going to use one of these really cool paddle beads. I'm going to put a spacer bead in. Sometimes when they make the beads, the holes don't necessarily go all the way through. And then if that happens, just get yourself another bead and slide it down. I'm going to take my paddle bead, slide it down. So now I've finished up my design here. And so I'm going to cut all but a tiny little bit. I love to use my pinky here, so I'm just going to cut all but a little pinky work off of there. And then I'm going to fold this onto itself to lock it in. Now I'm not going to fold it onto the bead, but I'm going to fold it onto itself so that it tucks into where that hole is. There we go. And now I have 2 more steps and I'm almost done. I'm just going to take a little bit of this washi tape, the blue washi tape, to match where my white pipe cleaner is. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this and I'm going to lay it on top and I'm going to fold it over just to cover that up. And I'm going to take, whoop, where'd that other piece go? And I'm going to do the same thing from the back because I just want to make sure that that all looks nice and clean. And now, last thing, I have my string. I'm going to take that string and I'm just going to place it through the top and I'm just going to tie a little knot. Just tie it once and tie it twice. And then I'll make a hanger out of, and all I do is I take my 2 ends, hold them together, and tie my knot with the two pieces together. So let me show you that again. You've got your two pieces together. Wrap it around your finger so that you make a circle. Then push those two pieces up through the circle. Feed them through and pull, and that makes a nice knot that you can cut so that you have a hanger. And there you have it. Some stir sticks, a little washi tape, some glue, and you've got yourself an amazing Star of David craft. For more great ideas for Hanukkah and other holidays, come and check us out at sophie-world.com.